Today on CityCast Nashville, after 25 years as one of our city's most trailblazing and beloved restaurants, Margot Café Bar is closing its doors next month. Here to share stories from the kitchen, what she'll miss most, and how she hopes Margot will be remembered, Chef Margot McCormack joins us. Let this be your reminder to make that reservation while you still can. It's Tuesday, May 12th. I'm your host, Marie Cecile Anderson, and this is what Nashville's talking about. Would you take us back to opening night in 2001? What did it feel like?
You know, opening actually feels a lot like it does now. There's a lot of buzz. There's a lot of goodwill. There's a lot of love, a lot of craziness. First night was a Tuesday. And we had been working so hard on trying to get the restaurant open and wait for the codes and all of the, governmental things that you have to jump through. And we finally got our permit for liquor. And we were down to no money. We were like, we need to open tonight. And literally had people bringing liquor, the reps, in their cars. My wife and first partner were down at the liquor board getting the paperwork signed. This was before cell phones. So we did not have, or social media, we did not have a platform to just go, hey, we're going to open tonight, come on by. So we had to do it all the old-fashioned way with people getting on the phone and saying, hey, this is our debut, would you like to come, et cetera, et cetera. I had food in the restaurant, clearly. I had a staff. And so we were anticipating, getting open. And it went by in a blur, honestly. I had been working at F. Scott's prior to that for 5 years, but I had quit in February because we thought we were going to be ready to open sooner than we were. So I hadn't worked in 3 or 4 months. And all I really wanted to do was get back there and cook. And I put together a menu of things that I thought people would really love, favorite things and things that had worked. So we had a veal scallopini. Oh. And it's very interesting when I look back at the menu now. You can see global warming. You can see how different the seasons were because we were serving this veal scallopini with polenta and something else really hot on June 5th. And I was like, that's interesting. And then we had soft shell crabs, which we barely can get anymore. We might get them once or twice a season. And they're usually gone by June now. The menu is actually hanging upstairs in the restaurant. So it reminds me when I pass it, where we were, where we've been, where we're going. But I remember my mother and father were so proud and so happy because I think they thought I was crazy and what are we doing over in East Nashville? And they called so many people that I had to say to my mother, I said, please stop calling people. We don't have enough room. We don't have enough food. We're not ready. They acted like the hosts of the evening. They welcomed everybody in and they mingled around the dining room and it was super sweet. From the minute the first ticket came in, my head was down and cooking. I couldn't even look up. I couldn't take it all in. I was just like, man, I hope this is working. I hope everybody's doing a good job. And at the end, probably 9:00, I decided that I needed to go outside. I needed a minute. And I was walking out of the dining room and a guy stood up and starts cheering and clapping. And I was so like, oh my God. I was like happy, but I just kind of ran out the restaurant because I was like overwhelmed. It was overwhelming. I was like, what is happening? And I went outside and I looked through the windows and I was like, what a cool scene to see everybody inside, enjoying my food, having a good time, laughing, drinking, all the good noises that come with the restaurant. And I was like, dream come true.
Well, for folks who are not familiar, first off, I just want to say shame on you. But if you would, What makes Margot so unique? You don't even have a walk-in or a freezer?
Mm-mm. I mean, definitely our limitations make us, I think, a little bit more creative. I don't look at them as limitations so much as challenges. It's a very personal restaurant. It is me in a restaurant form. I mean, we started out with just trying to do a changing menu every day, fresh, seasonal, local, trying to engage with farmers and establish relationships with them, because that makes my job so much easier when they bring this beautiful food in. We got great guests. You know, when we were working on the building, the folks in East Nashville would drive by and cheer us on. And some people would come in, they really would, and come in and introduce themselves very enthusiastically. And all of a sudden, I realized that it wasn't just about me. It was about these people, and I was going to have a responsibility to them. That kind of turned things around a little bit for me in a very unselfish way, because, you know, a lot of chefs have really big egos. They want you to eat their food a certain way. They want to be the boss of everything, da, 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 da. But I had to let this all come in, and it really did affect how I looked at everything.
Well, I love that you brought up your fresh produce. Have you ever gotten an ingredient from one of your farmers and been like, oh, Lord, I have no idea what to do with this?
You know, often, actually. But I think my favorite story is Tana Comer was one of our first farmers, well, the first farmer, and out of Eaton's Creek. She's a gem, and everyone knows her and loves her in the farm business. But I would buy everything she had to offer, because I was just like, we've got to help Tana survive and thrive and grow. And even if it meant getting 5-gallon buckets of kohlrabi at one time. And we're like, I'm not a big aficionado on kohlrabi. So I'm like, what am I doing with this? So we'd have a different kohlrabi preparation every day. And we found that fried kohlrabi, the kohlrabi fries are the best thing that you can make with kohlrabi. But had we never been given that challenge, I wouldn't know squat about kohlrabi and how good it is.
Well, the way you're describing that experience just then, it sounds like you have quite a team behind you too. So I know that many chefs come through your kitchen. What do you hope they've learned from you?
I think probably the biggest thing is just for them to be themselves, to have their own voices. And that's why I gravitated towards East Nashville. When I was at F. Scott's, it seemed like everybody was copying on everybody's piece of paper. I remember when I first got to town and I went to a chef event, and somebody asked me what kind of food I was going to cook and the menu. And I said something, and they were like, well, if you don't have a chicken Caesar salad, then you're going to fail. Because everyone in Nashville wants a chicken Caesar salad. And I said, well, then I'm not going to have one of those, because that's not going to happen.
It is my absolute favorite time of year again. And if you've never been to Musician's Corner in Centennial Park, now is your time to go. Honestly, there is nothing else like it in Nashville. It's a totally free, multi-genre concert series that's been bringing people together for nearly 2 decades. It's super laid back and family friendly. Bring your dog, bring the kids, throw down a blanket, grab some food, and just hang out while listening to the most incredible live music from local artists and beyond. It all happens Friday nights and Saturday afternoons through June 13th with food trucks, artisan vendors, drinks, and more. This year's lineup includes Maddie Diaz, The Verve Pipe, Amanda Shires, John Paul White, S.G. Goodman, the Nashville Symphony, and a ton of other amazing performers. Musician's Corner is produced by the nonprofit Centennial Park Conservancy and supported by CityCast Nashville. Visit musicianscorner.com for the full lineup. Hey y'all, quick question. If you're going to spend money on your home, don't you want it to actually count? Because here's the thing, experts say windows retain up to 80% of their value. So upgrading your windows now isn't just about comfort, it's a long-term investment. And if your current windows are builder grade or just old, you're probably losing money every single month through higher energy bills. But no worries, that's where Window Nation comes in. They build custom, high-quality windows, measure 3 times to make sure everything fits perfectly, and their crews can install them in just 1 day. And here's the good news. Window Nation's Buy 4 Windows, Get 4 Free sale is going on now. You could literally replace your entire home's windows and get half of them for free. They have installed over 3 million windows, have tens of thousands of 5-star reviews, and back everything with a lifetime warranty. But hurry, the sale ends soon. Don't wait to put an end to your window problems. Schedule a fast, free consultation now at windownation.com. What would the 2001 version of you think about Nashville now? Do you think you could open Margot today?
No. It's very sad. I feel like I set up, going back to your last question, the city, the food scene for other young chefs like Tandy Wilson and Jason McConnell and Ryan Bernhardt and tons of other people to go out and be able to do what I did. But now that it's 25 years later, it's that much harder. It costs that much more money. We opened Margot Café Bar for $150,000. And there's no way in God's green earth that you can do that now. And it makes me sad, actually, that there's a lot of talent out there that isn't being recognized because they don't have a platform. But I do think the food world is changing quite a bit. And I see a lot of things like the Wash over here on Gallatin Road. And now they have a really cool new spot over here called Lost and Found, which is a lot of really great chefs and food trucks. And they have sort of a communal hang area. And I'm like, that's pretty smart. People have had to get really creative because it's cost prohibitive.
What I have enjoyed recently is that you've been active on social media and you post, your daily updates on what's for brunch or, what's in the kitchen. Were you forced to be on social media, or was that something that you, as a person who loves being in the kitchen, how do you feel being on social media?
I resisted social media for a long time. We didn't have it for the first probably 3 or 4 years that we were open. I just thought, I think the phone's great, but I think it is also going to be the downfall of our society. And there's already inroads to that. And I won't get off on a jag about my feelings about that. But we actually have a person that's doing our social media now. So she's in charge of that. And she makes me do things. And Sarah Giles does it for us, and she's excellent. And I'm usually a good sport about it now. I think I've grown more comfortable with myself over 25 years. Most chefs are kind of reclusive and weirdos and sensitive, and we're not super outgoing all the time. I know that the other day I was talking to somebody, I don't remember who it was, and they were like, yeah, you're kind of an introvert. And I'm like, thank God someone understands me. Like, I've practiced this. This is like, and I say I practice. I don't polish it. I'm still real off the cuff, still, whatever kind of comes in my mind. But I'm much more willing to go on a podcast or to have my picture taken or to go out and talk to people in the dining room. And I feel like I've grown into myself, and I'm really happy with who I am right now.
Do you feel like you and your restaurant got the national media attention you deserve? And does that matter to you?
Only in the fact that, when I didn't get it, my feelings were hurt. I'm like, hey, why am I not being recognized? I feel like I'm doing a really good job. I've got a dining room full of people that are telling me that, I should have a James Beard Award, that all of these things. And so it's kind of noise, honestly. I never started doing this to get an award. And I've always thought that the James Beard Awards were very much a boys' club. There aren't that many women that win. There aren't that many people of color. I'm gay. It's crazy to me that James Beard, they named this award after him, and he couldn't have been more of a flaming queen. And all these macho guys with their tattoos and their piercings and their mad culinary skills want to win this award. And it's just like, I'm just tickled by that, honestly. And that was never my path. My path has always been just to make good food for my community, that I could be happy with. And when I leave the restaurant at night, I go, job well done. And I get that from the people that are in the dining room. Those are the people that allow me to do what I do. And so I'm super thankful to them. And the national media, I don't know. I don't know that I was ever that sparkly or that precious, or I don't know. I mean, I was nominated. I've been nominated several times, and I'm very, thrilled and honored because it is like validation. But when Michelin came through, and I don't have a Michelin star, I don't have a bib, I don't have anything, that really made me mad and solidified my desire to be finished. Because I'm like, what does a person have to do? Who exemplifies French cooking in this town more than I do? I'm like, I don't know. And so I was just like, wow. And the city of Nashville paid money for Michelin to come here. And, they clearly steered them in a direction. And I wasn't part of that direction. I wasn't part of that vision. I feel like my general consensus on the world is that we are becoming divided, not by gender, but by money. There are the people that have the money, and then there are us little people that try to make the money. And never the two shall meet. Part of the changing restaurant scene is if you don't have a hospitality company behind you, you cannot survive. You need big media. You need PR. You need money, all to survive. I'm just like a little duck on what my feet are going, just trying to swim along.
Well, who do you see picking up your torch in Nashville?
That is a great question, and one that my customers are just really giving me the business about. I'm telling them to go to any locally owned restaurant, to go see Tandy at City House, to go see Julia at Henrietta Red, even though she's still part of that hospitality group, to go to Lachlan Table, to go to Lyra, just to name a few. Because if you don't go, if you like it and you don't go, it's not going to be there when you want it. And those are just like the sad facts of what's happened to Nashville in the 25 years that we've been in business, is that everything's just skyrocketed in price. We have a crazy president who's doing stupid things to our economy. It's just a different world. It's a different Nashville for sure.
So what are you going to miss most?
Oh, so many things. I mean, there's a bucket list of things I'm not going to miss. But
I want to hear those too.
Well, I think I will miss the people the most. The people have been amazing, especially in the last year, sharing and all these touching stories and how they've celebrated with us over time. I mean, there were a lot of tears. I've never experienced anything like this in my life, and have never heard of a restaurant closing or somebody trying to retire
right.
and been given the business, and so many tears and so much emotion. I'm going to miss the food. I'm going to miss having the access to the food that I get now. So I'm going to be looking for my farmers at the farmers markets every week. I'm going to be going to Bear Creek out in Franklin or wherever they are now to buy their steaks that I just take out of my cooler every night and fix for my dinner. I'll miss I don't really know how to phrase this, but yes, I do. There's something about working on a team. I was an athlete my whole childhood, high school. I'm still a huge sports fan. Being at the restaurant with the people that I work with is like being on a team. And we're sitting there doing these like tasks. And somehow we're having just the best time. Juliana's doing the garlic in the machine. I'm doing something. Tom's baking. Truman's doing French fries. And we're listening to some great jazz, getting started in the morning. The service staff is there doing all their things. It's so much fun. It's hard to explain to most people, I think. But doing it together, like I said, well, we're all just going to have to hang out, when we're done. But hanging out is different from being in the same room with somebody doing. I think it's like we're all coming together to make this thing happen. And we all know how special the thing is that we're making happen. Juliana is looking across from me now. Now she's chopping the shallots, which always make her cry. And she's like, I'm really going to miss this. And I was like, oh my God, I know what you mean. I love it. But so, yeah, my crew is my family. So I know that most of them aren't going anywhere. I will see them. But it's just that coming together for the common cause that we won't have anymore. That's kind of sad.
What's one thing you won't miss, though?
Attitude, fish not showing up, just all the little things that happen every day. Oh, the truck broke down and we didn't get any of your order. Great. There are many, many other things, all the catastrophes that have happened. Oh my God, the air conditioner's not working today. The grease trap needs to be emptied. The hood's got to get cleaned. The garbage is overflowing and all that. The logistical things that happen. And I've been spoiled. I'm in the kitchen just playing with the food.
Do you actually think you're done with restaurants?
No.
Can you give us an idea of what's next?
Well, currently, we have a verbal contract with people, but we're waiting on it to get written down for real. And then they still have 60 days to due diligence, and they could come back and say, oh, we don't want it now. And then I'm back to square one. So I'm really hoping that that's not going to happen. But I have been brainstorming what I might do in the meantime. And cooking classes are definitely on the list. I used to do cooking classes before my son was born. And they really were a lot of fun. And I think I just met so many cool people doing the classes that became great customers. And I really like that relationship. I like to share my knowledge and help people make their food taste good and give people the confidence to go into their own kitchens and cook for themselves. So that'll definitely be in the mix somewhere. I was just thinking about doing some pop-ups or a supper club or private parties. We get a lot of interest in that. Somebody was like, well, you could do a Bastille Day pop-up or that won't happen because we're not going to be here. We're actually going to France for Bastille Day. But, maybe another occasion. But it all depends on the timing of the sale of the restaurant. And then we'll go from there. I also am working on 2 cookbooks. One is a cookbook memoir, and the other is like Margot Café Bar recipes. So, yeah, I have plenty to do.
So you're not retiring. You're just going to be even more busy.
Well, I'm retiring from the stress and strain on me physically. I'm 62. The arthritis is creeping in, the tendonitis. I have a heart condition that I want to be very careful of. And I have my son who has graciously shared me with the general population for 15 years of his life. And he's kind of done. And my wife, we work together, Heather, but she would like us to play more together than work.
I bet.
And also, after watching How to Heal the Planet last night, I've always been interested in food security, in farming, in providing for other people. I could be looking at doing some board work for one of the companies that are out in our world, or just doing some fun work, just going to Second Harvest and volunteering, going to Nashville Food Project and saying, hey, can I cut something up? Just let me cut things up. Because that's kind of where I am. I'm like, I like to cut things up, and I don't mind the prep. It's the, long hours of service that come after the prepping. The stressfulness of it all is like, whew, I'm not going to miss that either. But yeah, no, I don't think I'll be far away from knives and food and farms and chefs.
How do you want Margot Café and Bar to be remembered?
Oof, I don't know if there's a single word, but, a lot of people are throwing down special, magic, warm, iconic, the GOAT, the beginning of East Nashville, the beginning of Nashville's food scene, which it's flattering. I don't know that it's 100% true. I kind of feel like things just are built foundationally, and that everyone who's ever had skin in the game has made Nashville what it is now. All the people that came before me paved the way for what we do.
I'll never forget when I came home from college and they wanted to celebrate me. And usually we'd go to Sunset Grill and they said, we're going to go to this new place in East Nashville. And the whole family went. And we pull up to your place. And I grew up in South Nashville. We didn't come to East Nashville much. And I still remember getting emotional, but just like the full family being together when we're all off at college and to come together and share a meal and just so much laughter. Just so much laughter and really good food.
That's what I like to hear.
So thank you.
You're very welcome. Thank you for having me.
That's all for today here on CityCast Nashville. And don't forget, you can support this show and get great perks by becoming a CityCast Nashville neighbor at membership.citycast.fm. If you enjoyed the show, why not tell your friends? Rate the show, leave us a review, and subscribe to our CityCast Nashville newsletter. We'll be back tomorrow morning with more news from around the city. Toodles!